I have just finished the final game of this year. This is the final 2025 chess game that I play, and I'm very excited to show it to you. So this is round 5 of Rilton, the tournament that I'm playing in, and I was playing quite a strong opponent today, actually. I didn't know how strong he actually was because his rating was 1853, which is 200 points lower rated than me, but he's apparently like 2400 rated online on chess.com. So, you know, it's always difficult games. Today, the game started a little bit earlier, so I had to wake up earlier. I had a great breakfast, and I went to the game, and I was feeling really excited. I thought, Anna, you're playing with the white pieces. You got this, you know? Like, come on, let's do it. But like every chess game that I ever played, this became a roller coaster. My dad always says, Anna, whenever I see your games, your, games are like, your pieces are hanging, your opponent's pieces are hanging, like, what's going on? But anyway, so I actually know Jay from before. His name is Jay Sandhu. I actually know him from before. He's really good at 4-player chess. And yeah, it was really fun to play someone that you know, but of course that maybe gave me a little bit more pressure because I was like, I really want to win this game. But we were smiling and kind of talking a little bit before the game, and then we shook hands and he started the clock. So I started with the move d4 and he went knight f6 and he played the Benko gambit, which I was expecting, but somehow I kind of wasn't sure if he was going to play e6 here, which I guess maybe I should have known. And here I couldn't remember if I'm supposed to take on e6 or go knight c3. So I ended up taking on e6, and then after takes, I went knight c3. And of course, the downside of taking here is that I am giving up the d5 square. I give black a lot of center, but black also gets some weak pawns. So this is completely fine. So I went knight f3. I was playing this pretty fast. He went c4. And here I spent a little bit of time thinking because I wasn't sure if I'm supposed to move my bishop out or if I'm supposed to go something crazy like e4. E4 is the move I really dream of, but the problem is, well, the idea is that if takes, I will be very happy because I can go takes, and then knight g5. And then as you can see, he has a billion hanging pawns and I'm threatening knight f7. This would be an incredible position. But the problem is that he takes on b5 and then now it's not so clear what to do because he's threatening to go b4 and I cannot take back because then this is hanging. So, yeah, I wasn't exactly sure what to do. Also, what was that noise? Okay, I've never heard that noise before, so I was confused. Okay, but anyway, so I decided to go bishop e2 instead, simply developing, but I spent way too long on that move. And now after takes, I took, he went knight a6, and now I castled. So we got this position where his knight is on c5 and I had to come up with a plan. And I wasn't sure what my plan was. I was thinking first that I should just go knight c3 to try to push this pawn to e4. I was thinking maybe I should develop bishop d2, but then I thought maybe he will go ahead and bring a knight up. I didn't really know. I knew that my plan was probably to go b3 at some point to try to get rid of the c4 pawn, but I couldn't do that now because then he just takes it, and I cannot take back because of the pin. So we had a bit of a scenario here. So I ended up doing this move knight e5 because I saw that there were a lot of ideas with sacrificing on c4, taking on d8, and then knight f7 check. So I was looking at these sort of ideas. So at this point I had 50 minutes left and I felt pretty good, but everything that I wanted this game was for it to be a slow game where I like positionally outplayed him. I didn't want this to be a tactical game because I've had tactical games in this tournament that I've just lost. And somehow my brain just doesn't feel as sharp as it typically does. So I just really did not want to play a sharp position where there were only moves. And I think that comes from a bit lower confidence after losing against lower rated players. I didn't want to be in a scenario where if I make a mistake, I just lose the game. I didn't want that. So I just wanted to be safe. I wanted to feel like I had everything under control. But this game became everything but that. So yeah, he went knight b3. I went rook b1. I could have taken it. I wasn't really sure, sacrificing my exchange, but kind of psychologically from what I was saying before, I didn't want to go into these unbalanced positions where I've given up material because who knows what's going to happen then, I thought. Also, I'm going to from my expressions right now, how do you think the game went? If you're watching right now, if you're, at this moment watching, can you tell me in the comments how you think this game went? I'm kind of curious to know if my manners change depending on my result. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Okay, so he took the pawn on a2, and this was a critical moment. And I knew this was a critical moment because I knew that I had a good position, even though I just lost my extra pawn. It's equal material, but my opponent hasn't castled. So I knew that there was something, but I couldn't figure out what. And I ended up blundering here because the move that I did was just not good. So here, I took on c4, and I'll tell you why, but I should have gone for this move e4, which is what I wanted to play before, but the reason I didn't do it was because I didn't realize that after knight takes e4, I can go bishop takes c4, and now, if he takes back, I have queen h5 check, and after g6, I can go queen f3. I didn't see this. So the reason I cannot take here is because of this. It's not so good. But anyways, the best move here is to go queen f3. It's not that it's not so good, but it's better to go queen f3 here. And now I'm threatening the knight, I'm threatening checkmate, and if the knight goes to f6, the point is just that I go rook d1, all my pieces are active, and black's pieces are just horrible. Like, his best move is to sacrifice the queen here. So I didn't see this. I didn't see bishop takes c4. In fact, I was considering here going knight c3 to be able to play e4, but I didn't realize I can just go e4 immediately. And that's why you should always calculate everything. So I kind of freaked out. I was also calculating knight takes c4, but I couldn't really make it work because I thought here takes. I thought probably queen takes, and then I was looking at, rook a8, and I wasn't sure how this position was. I have, what do I have? I have 2 pawns for a piece, but once again, it went back to this feeling of I didn't want to have such an unbalanced position. I just wanted to have a calm game. Can I not just get a calm game? So yeah, that was basically the reason for that. I'm also just right now really quickly wondering why I couldn't go knight c7. Oh, it's because takes and king d8. Okay. Okay, whatever. So basically, this didn't happen. Instead, I went for what I had calculated before, and the reason for this was because I needed to make a move. I'd spent a lot of time thinking. This was the only thing that I could really make sense of in my brain, so I went with what felt safe instead of what was objectively good. And that's something we do in chess sometimes. So he took, and my point was, of course, to win the exchange. But the problem now is that this knight is getting trapped, and I knew this was a problem, but I thought I could untrap it. Luckily here, though, it's not super easy for him to play. And if he goes for the plan that he went for, which is immediately winning this knight, I actually get a lot of counterplay. So here he has to go bishop d7 or something like this. I will go knight c3, and then I'll go e4, and I will just try to get my bishop out. And sure, I might lose this knight, but he's going to spend a lot of moves taking it. And I'm going to be able to activate my bishop on f4 perhaps, etc. I'll get my rook to d1. But instead in this position, he went g5. And when he did this, I was very happy because I saw that I now had rook d1. And now after bishop g7 threatening my knight, I have knight f7. And the idea now is that my knight is getting out because if he takes, I have knight d6 check and I win the bishop. And I had seen that position all the way back here. So I was very happy that the position that I had seen had actually come to play. So he played bishop a6. I went knight d6, he went knight d5, which I thought was a nice tricky move, and I had to go here e4, because I want to get my bishop out, and I need to stop this knight from blocking my rook, protecting my knight. He went knight f4, and I decided that I have to take it, and I now went knight c7. Now, I'm not sure if knight c7 was so good. Maybe I should have gone something like, yeah, knight a7 or something like this, but it's difficult because my pawn on b2 is hanging, and if I am not careful, this pawn is going to promote really fast. So it was a little bit, even though the engine is just saying that this is way better for me, it was definitely a bit tricky. And here, he found a very good move, which is bishop e5. And I started getting nervous. So the point of this move is that, he wants to take this knight. So his point is that when I take this bishop, which I have to, and if he takes back, I'm just able to win this pawn and then I'm winning, he has the ability of going bishop takes knight. And now the only way for me to save my knight, because as you can see the knight is trapped, it can't go anywhere, is for me to play the move e5. However, I now have to give up that pawn, and I've just simply quite quickly lost 2 pawns, and I will go knight b4 in this position, which I saw. And if the rook moves, I will be very happy, because then I'm able to trade off this knight for this bishop. And rooks and bishops work very well together in endgames. Rooks and knights don't work so well together. So I knew that if I was able to trade this knight for this bishop, I was going to be very happy. But here the issue is that he can go rook takes b2, and I will be able to trade off, you know, these pieces. But now in this position, I needed to find the move knight g4 check to get the king to be very far away and then take the rook. Because if I don't do this check, the king will be very fast and I will be losing actually, because this pawn is so strong. But luckily none of this happened, even though I do think I would have found it, because here my opponent did a blunder. And he just quickly took back on a6, and then he literally realized that he had done the wrong move. And you could see in his face, he was really upset because his plan was to take here. So he literally just had a brain slip, as I call it, which is like a mouse slip, but your brain. He literally just had a brain slip and picked up the wrong knight, even though he had seen that he must take this knight. So now, of course, when I'm able to win this pawn, I now have quite an easy winning position. I still wanted to trade off this knight for the bishop. I wanted to play with rook and knight because I knew it would just be a lot easier. So here, I just decided to do that. And then, you know, we just went on a few more moves. But in this position, after b6, my opponent resigned and I won the game. So if you guessed that I won before, good job. You can understand my face and my mannerisms. I guess that's the word. But yeah, I'm very happy. I won the final game of 2025. Was definitely not easy. Could have gone very wrong, and I didn't find the right idea in the opening. But I now learned the lesson. And happily, I learned the lesson without having to lose. We can learn lessons when we win as well, which I'm very happy about. So this was, I think, a great game overall. I'm happy that I saw so many ideas, and this definitely gives me more confidence for the following rounds, which is really important. Confidence is the #1 important thing in chess, at least for me, because it means that I will play more actively, I will play with more, you know, confidence, and I will play faster too. So I want to take this moment as well to, well, first and foremost say that I have 3 out of 5 points right now. There's 4 more rounds to go, and the next round will be January 2nd. So that's when the next recap will be. Tomorrow there's no game because of New Year's today. So tomorrow there's a rest day. So I will see you all for the next game on January 2nd, and there's 4 rounds to go, so I still have a chance of getting a great tournament if I'm able to win a lot of those games. So 2026, new year, new chess games, new Anna, maybe, hopefully better Anna, I don't know, I hope so. Let me know if you have any New Year's resolutions, I don't want to say mine because I feel like it's easier for me to hold myself accountable if it's just like my thing. But yeah, let me know what your New Year's resolutions are. And I also just want to wish you a very happy new year. I hope that you've had a good 2025, and if not, I hope that 2026 is even better. And we can all start fresh with a new year that I hope is going to be a very good one. So happy new year, everybody. Take care, stay healthy. And thank you so much for your support and for watching these games and recaps. Bye-bye. See you January 2nd.